What's up, fellas? Now that the regular season is officially wrapped up and we're heading into week 15, I figured why not do a little playoff preview and even some predictions. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. So here we go, the toilet playoffs. So our first toilet bowl matchup, we got 8-seed Cole against 9-seed Griff. And this matchup, it's a tale of two teams going in opposite directions. We had Cole, who had playoff hopes midway through the year. You know, he was sending out, at least to me, those crazy win now trades where he's just trying to pilfer my team of all my best players for virtually nothing. But Cole looked really good midway through the year, and then it just went south on him. And if you want to know why Cole's in the toilet bowl playoffs, you just got to go to that all-important spreadsheet, check out the draft board, and you can see those early round picks really hurt Cole. You had all-around consensus tight end 1, Travis Kelce, to start the year, and he's lived up to that, and then some, maybe fantasy's player of the year. But remember, Cole didn't draft Kelce. He went with his boy George Kittle with the 12th overall pick before Kelce.
There's not a day goes by I don't feel regret.
Then in round 3, he went with Melvin Gordon, who's like RB 30 by scoring average. Maybe not Gordon's fault that Denver offense is trash and they don't even start a quarterback every single week. And then in round 4, he went with DJ Chalk, who is currently wide receiver 41. And he picked him before wide receiver 1s, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper. So this might be a team that would be in the playoffs and a real threat if Cole didn't go crazy and really reach in the early rounds way back in August.
I look back on the way I was then. A young, stupid kid. I want to talk to him. I want to try to talk some sense to him.
Cole is facing Griff, who looked to be neck and neck with me in a race to the bottom. But in the past few weeks, Griff has really turned it around. He's won 3 of his past 4. And he has David Montgomery, who somehow is now red hot. I guess someone has to tote the rock for the Bears, so he's been crushing it. Deshaun Watson has been on fire. T.Y. Hilton has had a resurgence, shades of like 2015 for T.Y. Hilton. He's come back in a big way. So Griff, you know, he's projected to have a few less points than Cole this week, but you have to like his momentum. In the other toilet bowl matchup, we got 7-seed Drew against me, the 10-seed, in the Battle of the Brothers. And sadly, this is projected to be the most lopsided matchup of the week. Drew's team currently projected as the second highest score, and I'm projected to have the second lowest score. And I have to say, what the heck, Drew? It's the toilet playoffs. Why am I playing against the team projected to score 158 points?
Probably because this whole universe is against me.
Drew's team, quite solid. Better than my team, really, at every position. So I'm going to need a miracle to win this one. And like Cole, we can look at my draft. And if you look at my draft this year, I don't really know why my team is bad. All the picks look fine to me.
I've never admitted to a mistake. What would I have made a mistake
Lindsay,
about?
instead of
You got to look at those savvy picks. Kenyon Drake in the second round, OBJ in the third round, Cortland Sutton as a keeper, and of course Will Fuller, who decided to toss back some PEDs in week 10. All top notch. So now here I am in the toilet playoffs with my hopes riding on waiver wire randos, so doesn't look good. But I won't give up in the Battle of the Brothers. Anything is possible, and we'll see which Melson comes out on top.
brother, you are going down.
So to simulate the playoff matchups, we're not going to do anything too fancy, just going to draw out of a hat here. But at least to match the projections a little bit, we're going to tweak it so that it's not just a random pointless 50-50 draw. We'll put in the number of names based on how good the team is. So, for instance, Cole versus Griff. We got Cole with the slight edge in the projection, so Cole has a slight edge in the hat. We got 5 Coles versus 4 Griffs in here. And we'll draw the winner to see who is going to avoid the toilet. We got Griff. Boom, with the victory over Cole. So he's safe, and Cole is moving on to the toilet bowl. All right, and in the battle of the brothers, Drew has a huge edge in this matchup. So we got 7 Drews versus only 3 Dannys in this hat. So it's not looking good for me, but again, hey, we have a chance. So the winner of Drew versus Danny is Drew. No surprise there. So Drew's safe, and I am headed to the toilet bowl. All right, and the toilet bowl. Me versus Cole. We got the 3 Dannys versus the 5 Coles in this hat. So chances don't look good for me. But the winner of the toilet bowl is Cole Dam. So, yeah, to be expected. That's fair. That's fair. I do have the worst team. So, hat don't lie. I get the toilet bowl. Okay, so we'll quickly do the mediocre bowl, and this is a 2-week total score affair between Fitz and Negs. And this is Fitz's 3rd straight year in the mediocre bowl, which is just remarkable consistency at being just okay. Playing at the middlest of levels is Fitz's team year after year. He had a decent shot at the 4 seed, and if you look at the scores Monday night, he needed Marquise Brown and Lamar Jackson to just squeeze out a few more points to get into the playoffs. But instead, Lamar Jackson took a break to squeeze out something else as he ran back to the locker room with cramps in the second half and missed a chunk of the game. So that really hurt Fitz when he needed Lamar on the field the most. He was back in the locker room.
It was a massive dump.
So who knows, maybe without that,
Massive dump.
Fitz might have made it to the playoffs. Tough way to go out. Then you got Negs, who was actually the number 2 scorer this year. So that hurts to be the 2nd highest scoring team, but finished 6 and 8. Some terrible luck. Negs' strategy, at least in points, worked out with his Super Seahawks squad of Russell, Lockett, and Chris Carson. And Negs was the number 2 scorer this year, even with losing keeper Dak at QB to that gruesome injury earlier in the year when Dak was scoring like 30-some points a game. So all around, super tough luck for Negs to be in the mediocre bowl. He doesn't deserve it.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
All right, same process as before. We got ourselves 4 Negs versus 3 Fitzes in here because Negs got the slight advantage. And the winner of the mediocre bowl and getting a little bonus on the draft board is Negs. The hat is pretty much just going chalk so far. So yeah, Negs winning the mediocre bowl. All right, so now on to the real deal, the championship playoffs. And in the first matchup, we have 1 seed Ben versus 4 seed Mike. And these teams are actually number 5 and number 7 in terms of total points. But here they are vying for a championship, and one of them will be in the championship matchup.
That doesn't make sense.
Your regular season champ and number 1 overall seed Ben is the team who is actually number 7 this year in points. But defense wins championships, I guess. He's taken advantage of his opponent's low scores all year. Can his luck continue against Mike and his appropriately named team, Mike's team?
That was the stupidest nickname I've ever heard.
Team name aside, Mike's roster, very solid, especially at wide receiver and running back. He's stacked there. And so he could definitely win this matchup. All right, our other playoff semifinal, we got 2 seed Pat versus 3 seed Fornica. And Pat, year after year, a toilet bowl contender. His team's always smited by the fantasy gods and is usually a disaster. But this year, really in our league, from start to finish, the dominant team has been Pat.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
His team, no holes, and he is projected to be the top scorer yet again this week. But those are just projections. And standing in his way, we got Forneca with his team rolling on a winning streak, and he's projected to have a high score as well. He just doesn't have quite the same pedigree of player as old Alvin and the Chubmonks and Pat's team. So Fornecka has some waiver wire dudes, Mike Davis, Wayne Gallman, Robert Tonyan, but they've been pretty good, and that's Fornecka's MO. He loves to work that wire. So if his players ball out this week, he can definitely win. All right, so let's go ahead and draw the winners. Ben versus Mike. This looks like a toss-up in the truest sense. It really is a 50-50 proposition. So we got 3 Bens versus 3 Mikes in the hat. And winning the matchup and moving on to the championship is... oh, we got Ben. The lucky streak continues. All right, and Pat versus Fornecka. Pat has a slight edge in the projection, so we're doing 5 Pats, 4 Forneckas in here. So Pat with the slight edge, a little bit better than 50% chance of advancing, and headed to the championship. It is indeed Pat. So we got Ben versus Pat in the final week. All right, in the championship, we got 3 Bens versus 5 Pats in the hat. And so far the hat, yeah, no crazy upsets. The hat has really, it's like a March Madness bracket with all 1 seeds in the Final Four. Let's see if the hat comes up with an upset here. The champion this year is Pat. No upsets at all. So, Pat's your champion this year, and also deserved based on how good his team has been. All right, there you have it. What a scientific and accurate way of picking the winners and losers for the all-important playoff weeks this season. We'll see if it actually plays out with Pat getting the title and me getting the toilet. I think those are the odds-on favorites for each to start the playoffs, but you never know. So another thing is with COVID, I know some people have talked about should the results even count? Should we just cancel the playoffs? So probably after week 16, commish will independently decide, kind of, depending on what happens. So we'll see. But all right, everybody, have a Merry Christmas next week. Enjoy the football action. Peace.